Miss Mariah, aka It's You.
You.
How are you doing today?
I am good. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm good.
Well, I appreciate you making it out to sit with the nitty gritty so we can find out a little bit more about you, the artist, as well as the person, the career woman, and all the endeavors that you have.
Of course.
So the first time we met was at one of the events, and I was captivated by how much you commanded the microphone. And even though you were reading from your phone, it was still a very enticing performance because of how you enunciated, how you reacted, how you let the crowd kind of simmer a couple of seconds in between your words, and it was fantastic. How did you get started in the poetry world when it comes to spoken word?
Wow. I was in 5th grade, and I'm just always the type of at the time I was like a little girl that wanted to do everything. I wanted to put my hands to everything. And it was this writing class in school, and I told my mom, I was like, I want to do the writing class. And she was like, okay, that's fine, whatever. So I started doing this writing class, and I just fell in love with being able to say so much without saying nothing. And it made me feel like I was understood. And I didn't have to do much, but just write it down. And ever since then, I dabble in a little bit of music, and I've been doing poetry ever since I was 9 years old. So, yeah.
For me, I can remember I was writing at 12, and then I started performing it at 15. And I got ridiculed a lot because, it really was something that was really big here in El Paso, especially black kid growing up in a Hispanic community. Wasn't really looked down or looked up upon as something that was favorable, but I'm glad I stuck with it. For a long time, it was my private little thing that I did just to myself, and so I have books and books and books and books of those things. And when I hear you talk about it, I really hear where the love started, how that passion grew, and it just kind of makes sense after seeing you perform and knowing who you are as a person. What inspired you, creativity or influence-wise, for your specific artistic style?
Honestly, I can't say anything really inspired me. I feel like the trauma and the things that I've been through is what kept me. Honestly, that's what motivated me to continuously to keep writing, because it was a scapegoat from reality. And a lot of people say oh, you're just writing on a piece of paper, or how can you express yourself through words? I feel like rap music is just poetry with sound in the back of it. You're telling a story without having to say, I'm hurt. You can express it in so many different ways. So because there's so many ways I can explain how I feel, everybody understands. Hence why, my stage name is It's You, because I like to represent every single person. Doesn't matter the skin color, it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter where you grew up from, your background, your ethnicity, your race. I feel like we all relate in the same issues from it may not be the same issues, but we all feel the same hurt. So, yeah.
That was deep.
I know, right? I just be saying poetic things on accident. My friends be telling me to say, they be like, dang, girl, you went real deep.
I was over here like, yo, that was just a simple question. But I did appreciate how you formulated that. Yeah. I didn't realize that was the reason why your name was like, it's you. Like, that is dope. Yeah. That is the great way of transitioning that. And hopefully I'll be able to incorporate it in the next show we host together. Yeah. And just really, I already got some clever I'm going to say for you. So, speaking of you reflecting yourself in each of the members that come to see, the audience members that come to see you perform, is there any specific themes or messages that you tend to convey through your art? I know you talked a little bit more about how it's your experiences growing up that kind of influence what your poetry is going to say. So then we'll do a part A and part B. Okay. Part A, what influenced your style up until this event?
Well, what influenced my style, honestly, being relatable. I always Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, when you say relatable, and I have to go down the rabbit hole with
Let's go.
what you said about, you are it's you. There's so many ways to be relatable. How do you choose the one you're gonna do? Is it on the spot, or do you already know what you're gonna bring to it?
Honestly, sometimes it is on the spot. Sometimes I actually write my pieces right then and there before I go on.
That's what you did the last time.
I did, yeah.
And that was fire. That was fire, man. And I even when I saw you in the corner doing it, I was like, hey, what's up? You're like, I'm writing something. I shall leave you be. Because I've been there where it's like, ooh, it's hitting me. It's hitting me right now. I don't know how many dinners I've burned because I've been like, oh, I gotta get this out before I forget. If
Fingers
I don't,
just going.
Yeah. So then, I think that answers the relatable part because it's how you're feeling it. What style are you bringing to the Grown and Sexy event on the 30th then?
I feel like the name Grown and Sexy, what all entails in Grown and Sexy? And I've been thinking about this for the past, actually when you asked me some months ago, like, hey, you want to be a part of this Grown and Sexy event? And I thought, do I want to do like a sexual piece? Do I want to do like a grown piece? You know what I'm saying? Trying to put all of that in together. And as I'm getting older, because I'm 27, my birthday was 2 days ago. Woo, woo, woo.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. I realized that what defines me as being grown and sexy and being conservative is what came to my mind. Being conservative and walking in my faith has made me grown and sexy, because somebody who doesn't give her body away, or a woman that the way that she walks, the way that she speaks and commands a room, that's what makes her sexy. That's what makes her grown. That's what makes her different. So I'm like, I might just throw my God in there real quick, you know what I'm saying? Bow. Show them a little, because God he can allow beauty out of anything and create nothing out of something, and everything out of nothing. And it's just so beautiful to me, and I want to capture that. I want people to see that this isn't just me that comes up with all of these creative words and how I'm feeling. This is definitely God that allowed me to have this talent, for me to walk into this, for me to be open to opportunities, to have interviews and people to listen to and be captivated. And those last minute, what I'm gonna say, I never know what I'm gonna say when I go up there. Honestly, I'll be freaking out in the back. I have little panic attacks because I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna say, Lord, I don't know what I'm gonna say. But then he just lets it flow out like water. I go up there and I'm like, every time I say my pieces, I want people to understand that it's coming from the same place at the same time that I wrote it. And I don't want you to feel anything less than how I felt at that moment. So yes.
I ran into this last with Wrecking Bell because she was saying some things where I'm like, yo, we can talk.
Yeah.
We can talk, but obviously we got to keep it finite, so I'm going to put a pin in that one. Because you got me over here trying not to double dutch it and go at it, because, obviously it's wonderful to hear that there is a level of maturity that you're bringing to this, especially when the way you've put it in there, like what a beautiful way of identifying your beauty without sexualizing it. And to put it in the way you did with, the Almighty being the one who creates us and gives us what we need, is such a beautiful way of saying that. That's poetry in itself. One of the things that I was worried about, because it was just by pure happenstance that it was all women, hence the lovely lady lineup, and I did not want the Grown and Sexy to be taken any other way, because the first thing I thought about was like, I don't want these ladies to go up feeling they have to idolize that particular one. So to hear your thought process, it really makes me comfort to know that that's where it was thought, and that the selection that I had was spot on. Because the last thing I want is people to get up there and think they got to do something raunchy. Yeah, it would be artistically fit, but is it going to captivate an audience? And I know your style, so hearing how you are interpreting what you're going to bring to this event, I'm super excited to what you're going to do. I might ask them to give you a little private room, like, look, she needs to cook. So, so can you share some of the favorite moments in time that influenced some of your best work? Whether it's an experience, a memory, something you experienced secondhand.
You know, I was talking to this guy. I always got to start with a guy, right? So typical. I was talking to this guy, and we weren't like exclusive, but he had a little piece of my heart. You know what I'm saying? So I was true to the heart piece, and it was the experience of how he allowed me to be myself and was so patient with me that I actually made a piece about him. And he was actually there when I performed it too. And I was so nervous. I was just like, I don't know if he's gonna like it. But he didn't know that I was making one about him. He just, showed up, and, I made one about him. And that was like one of the most real, not saying that all, like my poetry isn't real, but that was one of the most real feelings that I've had about someone aside of another one that I did. But one of the most real and exciting without feeling forced. It was like a natural feeling coming from a place I never knew that still existed. So I thought maybe for a long time, I thought, maybe I won't find someone for me, so it's fine. I could just be that single rich auntie, just looking good. She got money. She just give all her money to the little, my nieces and nephews and stuff. But then when, a man came and just showed me, I was like, dang, hold up, what's this? What's this? I don't like this. This is out of my comfort zone. It was one of my favorite pieces, yeah.
I would love to hear that sometime. We would love to hear that sometime. I think you answered a couple of questions that I already had. Mainly, I was going to ask you, what can people expect when they attend the event? But I think you checked that box.
Yeah.
How do you engage with the audience? Knock that out. I think you answered this one, but I want to ask it again. Are there any specific emotions or reactions that you hope to invoke the audience with your work?
Honestly, I never really look for a response. When I'm up there, I say truth. And I feel like at least one person in there understands what I'm saying. And whether you snap, whether you clap, whether you be like, dang, that was fire. You know what I'm saying? I say it from the pureness of my heart, because I want you to know that you're not the only person going through or that feels this way. Or it's okay to have thoughts, and they, be a little intrusive thoughts, because we all have them. But I look for, like I said, relatable. I don't know how to say the word, but basically it being relatable to someone, that you're not the only person in this world that either feels sexy or beautiful or hurt or happy or loved or unloved or lost or empty, or I just don't know at times, or shoot, I just feel like I just want to slash his tires, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he, she, them, whatever they feel, I just want to be the person that says it. Because my mom always said that. You always say what's on your mind. And I will. And I don't care how people feel, or if you mad at it or you upset at it. You want me to lie to you? But I don't know. I just want to be the voice for the voiceless and the people that are scared and the people that may be ashamed or feel like their voice doesn't matter. I got you, baby girl. I got you, baby boy.
You out here slashing tires, aren't you?
No, I'm slashing tires. I want to slash tires. Maybe TP.
Something.
Maybe like throwing something at the car.
A lot of what you're saying just has this really, this empathetic approach to what you want to provide the audience. And it speaks very well to the comfortable vulnerability of what the nitty-gritty is about. It's about that free therapy. It's about here, like, come up here and leave it on there and just know that everybody's going to pick up those pieces to take for their own. Before we go, I do have to ask, how do you handle the lows of being an artist? You came here saying that you just got off work. all these things were supposed to happen during the day, you know, and this is just today. Multiply that by the experiences of the past, and still finding a way to be an artist. How do you handle those setbacks?
You know, it's really not me. Honestly, it's God. I pray every single day. And I just ask God, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do today. I don't know what you're gonna throw my way, but just keep me in my mindset. And even when He's keeping me, He always allows me to go to poetry, because this has always been a safe space for me. This has always been something that has always made me exactly who I was, and nobody judged me for it. I feel like in every space, in every room I've ever entered, there was nothing but love. No matter if I felt the anxiety, no matter if I felt scared, no matter if I felt like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna sound good, or how is this gonna sound, or I don't know how they're gonna take it. The atmosphere and the vibe of the room, once I speak, has always felt comfortable. So this is what helps me in my lows and my highs, especially being in the military. There's so much they throw at you, so much exhaustion, but all I knew was I gotta make it to this interview. I was like, I gotta go, because this is the only thing that I can definitely say that has kept me, one of the things that has kept me through my military career. Because even in my last duty stations, I was doing poetry. I wasn't being this, you know, like into it, but God has allowed so many opportunities here for me to be exactly who I am in every single space and never be judged for it. And honestly, that's what keeps me sane.
I always say, with patience and preparation, God provides the opportunity. And a little bit of luck, you get that success. Mariah, Miss It's You. Thank you so much for coming out and sitting with the nitty gritty, so we can get to know a little bit more about you, in anticipation for this Grown and Sexy event on the 30th. Thank you so much. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Mental health is real, you know. Always stay true to what makes you happy, so it can keep you going, because nobody else will.
Facts on facts, stacks on stacks,
Racks on racks. Hey, at the same time.
Where talent thrives and comes alive.